Right. So I was trying to like figure out where I had heard his voice before because it seemed very familiar.
Who is
And
it?
then I looked him up. Yeah, he was Dennis Caleb McCoy
Oh God,
in Bill and Ted 3.
that makes a lot of sense. I loved that. I loved that. Bill and Ted 3 of the whole movie. Not that not bad, but that fucking robot when it lands in hell when it wants
Mm-hmm.
to hang out with them and stuff. It's goofy and it's funny. You can't help but not
That's one
laugh
of the
at it.
best additions from that movie to the lore of
To the
Bill and Ted.
lore, yeah,
Yeah.
much like when they added Death in the second one,
Mm-hmm.
and he became a really indispensable character, kind of. And I liked
Mm-hmm.
their breakup too. And let's talk about Bill and Ted for a second. Um, that cool. That movie, as much as it, I mean, it was silly. It wasn't as good as the first two. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
don't think that, but I thought it was cool. It was a modern movie that seemingly passed the torch and passed it to female characters
Mm-hmm.
in a very creative way. It was not
Mm-hmm.
overt. It was not like, oh, Bill and Ted are failures and these women are girl bosses. It was like, hey, this is just a family working. And then at the end, they
Mm-hmm.
dawn on them like these girls are getting all these historic characters or whatever, which we've seen before. But then when it's actually they're the key, they're the Preston and Esquire that save the world. It's like, oh, that makes more sense because Bill and Ted were always
Mm-hmm.
fucking terrible at music. Every time they showed them playing music, they were terrible. So it makes more sense that their daughters would be the ones to come up with some type of
Mm-hmm.
new music. I just thought that was
I,
phenomenal, and I don't think it was heavy-handed or
I thought it
or
was a really fun movie.
yeah,
And I don't think people like hold Bill and Ted in the same way of like Back to the Future or Star Wars,
yeah,
where they would get mad if there was a bad Bill and Ted movie that came out.
yeah. They're just
Maybe
having
some
fun.
people would.
Yeah,
Um, well, I mean, I'm like Ghostbusters. There was kind of a not so great Ghostbusters movie that people got mad about,
yeah.
but I mean, I think that had to overcome the death of George Carlin, um,
Well, yeah. Rufus
and
is. I mean, he was a huge character in the first two
mm-hmm.
movies, so you need to figure out something to. And I forget they
and
had a.
Kristen's Shaw was good. Um,
Excuse me.
she did her own thing, so she wasn't just trying to do Rufus
Yeah, no,
as.
she's a quirky character in everything she's in. She does that
Mm-hmm.
almost similar face and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I
Um,
like the additions. I forget the two daughters. I don't believe I've really seen them in anything else unless I'm going crazy. And then
no, I mean, I guess they set it up so they could do a Bill and Ted 4 with them,
yeah,
if they wanted to.
yeah. If it
Uh,
sold and if it had enough interest and stuff in the future, but
yeah, and I think, I don't have kids, but I have had experiences of like I did a thing, and then years later I kind of passed the torch
yeah,
and like let the next generation take over
yeah,
and say, okay, you're learning from what I've done, and I made my contribution. Now it's your turn, and that's a really like positive thing in
yeah,
my mind. Like that's a really good feeling. Is like, okay, I didn't accomplish everything I wanted to, but I've helped you get to where the point where you can accomplish it.
yeah.
So it's a different role than you first imagine yourself being in, but it's actually a really good role to be in for me or for Bill.
Well, and it's cool for the movie too to have them as the title characters be able to not need the movie to have them as the hero kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like Alex Winter, he did Bill and Ted, and he did the Lost Boys and a couple other
Mm-hmm.
movies. He is kind of he's had a career. I'm not gonna God bless. Keanu Reeves obviously has become kind of like I don't want to say a meme, but it's like he's known to be silly and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they're like, oh cool, we'll just come back and do a movie. But they did considering that it was not expected and it was so many years after the other ones. I thought they did a pretty good job. So
Yeah, and they didn't try and like market the heck out of it as if it would be like a huge movie. They were like, no, this needs to be kind of small scale and like,
did it come out during COVID?
yeah. So it was
Yeah,
like streaming.
I
Um,
remember it was definitely streaming day one. Or I might have bought it or something. Like they might have charged people money to see it like a week early, and there's nothing going
mhm.
on during COVID. So I was like, yeah, sure, let me give me that shit. Um, but yeah,
So I enjoyed.
I like Merrill Howard.
like
Merrill Howard,
dipping
whatever.
dipping back into that universe for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like Superman, except not covered nearly as much. We hadn't seen Bill and Ted in 30 years, so
mm,
I was like,
mm.
oh, it's fun to see what they're up to.